What's up YouTube? This is going to be your guide on how to use Blastoise in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'll be providing competitive movesets and some fun meme movesets too. If there's a Pokemon you'd like to see me cover, put it below in the comment section of the video. And if you enjoy these, they help you out, drop a like and let's get into it. Earlier on I did Venusaur and we've already done Charizard. So this is the last final for the Gen 1 starters. So Blastoise has some pretty reasonable stats, nothing absolutely outrageous, but it does have a very nice boosting move in Shell Smash. You'll be seeing that a lot on Blastoise. I'll be doing some singles, doubles, lots of different stuff today, so let's get into it. So Blastoise, we're going to be looking firstly at a special Shell Smash sweeping set and what you can do with it in terms of the Terra to run and other moves and stuff. So firstly, we've got the abilities Torrent and Rain Dish. Both these abilities are nothing like super amazing. I'm just going to go with Torrent on this one because it's going to be on a lower amount of health, possibly, you know, after you use your Shell Smash and stuff like that. And you've also got Rain Dish. Rain Dish wouldn't be too bad on a Rain team. Even Torrent is good on a Rain team. So anything like Pelipper will be good. But I'll go into some more detail with, teammates and stuff like that. So first move is Shell Smash, an excellent boosting move for speed and special attack. And you could possibly even, what we'll do is you can do a physical one as well. So mainly people are going to use special because of the moves that Blastoise gets, and it's got a little bit more special attack. So best coverage moves there that I would suggest would be, of course, a water move. So we've got Surf at 100% accuracy. You've also got Hydro Pump too. Hydro Pump is a lot more not Hydro Cannon, I wouldn't run that. Hydro Pump is a lot more powerful. Obviously that 80% actually is, it's very shaky, and after using Shell Smash, you really want to make sure you land your moves because you're going for a sweep. So I quite liked having Surf on there because you know it's going to land and you know it's still going to hit pretty hard at 90 base power. Now Ice Beam's a good coverage move there for any grass types and dragon types. Anything like that in general. And then we've got Terra Blast. Now, Terra can go quite a few different ways here. As I say, I always like to run Terra Ground on water Pokemon because this essentially can get you a free Shell Smash. Say electric type comes in there, you go Terra Ground and go for Shell Smash. Well, you haven't taken any damage and you've also... you're basically in the position to maybe go for another Shell Smash, possibly. If you, for example, if you do it on maybe a Choice Scarf Pokemon like Choice Scarf Volt Switch, you could get another one. But I think it's quite good. Then you've got Terra Blast Ground to hit opposing electric type Pokemon too, and Steel type Pokemon and Fire type Pokemon, stuff like that. But mainly those electric types. So that's one way you can do it with Terra Blast. Another decent one you could go would be, I'm just trying to think of, Grass isn't too bad either. Like, that's not too bad. So Grass would be hitting opposing water types. So, with Terra, when I had Terra Blast Ground, it would be neutral, but it wouldn't be super effective. So that's another way of running with Terra type Grass. This would allow you to go for Shell Smash and say if there was an electric Pokemon there, you'd be able to at least sponge the hit, and then you could go from there. So Grass is still going to be good. It gives you pretty nice coverage with a Water move, an Ice move, and a Grass move. That's another one you can go for. I'm trying to think of some other ones. I quite like. I must admit, I like Ground and Grass the best. You have got some other options. You could do like Terra. You could go Terra Ice if you wanted to. If you were on like an Ice type team, or you could have something like Blizzard. I'm just trying to think of some other things you could do. Like say you coupled this with like Ninetales Alola, you could do something like that as well. But that's a little bit more situational depending on your team. But I would say that probably the best two there would be Terra Grass and Ground. They give you the best, chance of getting that sweep. Now, of course, you could do Terra Water as well. If of course, that's going to be very powerful. So that Surf would be very powerful. You wouldn't have to even worry about going Hydro Pump. So that's another Terra that you could run there. And as for move options, I don't think you could really, they seem to be the best three moves to run. There are some other ones like Dark Pulse and Focus Blast, but they don't really hit much, so I wouldn't really worry about them on the special side. So with this, you could also do a physical moveset if you wanted to. It's not going to be quite as good, but it's still decent. So before we do the physical one, of course, the EVs are run with max special attack and max speed, modest nature. You want to be hitting as hard as possible, right? So you've already got a decent speed stat, and that's going to get doubled. So you don't need any more speed. That's a waste. So put it in modest, and it's going to be hitting really, really hard. And it's not hard to set a Shell Smash up with Blastoise either. It's pretty easy. You'll find you should be able to set this up most of the time. And let's say if you do like more of a clever Terra, like, you know, the ground against an electric type, or maybe a grass type against like, you know, electric type, that's going to allow you to get that up pretty easily most of the time. I'll be using this as a mid to late game sweeper, so just bear in mind you're probably going to take a bit of damage there at the start, and just figure out what the opponent has. For example, what priority moves do they have? What items do you think they're running? Like, what abilities they have? Like, that sort of thing. So, and set it up at the right opportunity, then you're going to get the sweep most of the time. So, as I said, you can run this as a physical set too. This is obviously a lot more gimmicky running a physical, but let's do it anyway, just for the heck, and let's do some comparisons. I always like to look at every aspect of a Pokemon. Alright, so for a physical one, I would absolutely go Adamant Nature, same speed and everything, and put the last little bit of defense. We've got Torrent, yeah, that's still gonna work. So we'll have a look at its physical moves. So we've got stuff like here, we've got Liquidation, that's a good one. We've got Ice Spinner, that's another good move too. So we still got a Water move and an Ice move, and we've got Earthquake too. So that's almost like you know, the other one that we had there. Now you've got Earthquake for electric types, which is pretty good. And you could do Terra Ground, or you could do Terra Grass as well. So if you want to do Terra Grass, you just go Terra Blast. So there you go. If you didn't want to do Terra Grass, you go Earthquake, and then you just go like Terra Ground. But yeah, since it's got a little bit more special attack, people tend to run the Special Blastoise you know, more often, and also it has a more powerful special attacking water move too, as in Hydro Pump. So a lot of the time, that's the reason. Now there is Wave Crash as well, I have to say that, but you know, with the recall of Wave Crash and things like that, you're not going to be surviving for very long. Like, usually you're going to take a hit, and then Wave Crash, well, you're going to take a lot of recall, so I wouldn't recommend that over Liquidation. So there you go, that's how you go about doing a special and physical one. That's what I would do. Probably a little bit better in singles and doubles. It's harder to Shell Smash up without, like, you know, fainting. Now, another site here you could look at could be a Choice Scar set. So Blastoise does get Water Spout, which is an incredibly powerful move. However, it's got to be based on your health. So you have to have a good amount of health. So we've got Choice Scarf with Timid Nature and Max Special Attack. And we're going to be hitting reasonably hard for sure. It's going to be hitting a lot harder if you have something like Pelipper on your team with Drizzle or Politoed or Kyogre or something like whatever rule set you're playing, right? I'm just talking general here to power that water move up. We've got Ice Beam for coverage, Terra Blast Grass, and Flip Turn as well. Flip Turn's just on there to scout, and you might want to just check out what the opponent has before you start locking yourself into Water Spout, because that could be a bad thing. If you're worried, if you're worried about just having Water Spout as your main attacking move, then just pull it back to like Surf or something like that. That way, at least you can go first with Choice Scarf Surf. So that's another way of running it. More so in singles than doubles. Let's have a look at some double sets now. Now, it still can opt as a Water Spout user in doubles, but just a little bit differently. I had actually a fair bit of success with Adrenaline Orb. So with Adrenaline Orb, I'm also running range-ish on this. So we're running, let's say we're running like a Pelipper on this team, right? We're running a rain team. I'll just delete that set there so I can do some teammates in a sec. So yeah, we've got Water Spout, Fake Out, Ice Beam, and Shell Smash. I feel like you could still squeeze Shell Smash on there at the right time. If not, you could always change up Water Spout to another move. So Adrenaline Orb is going to be kind of handy here. So we're going to get a speed boost by one if we get affected by Intimidate, which can happen a fair bit. It is gimmicky because you are relying on getting your attack drop for Adrenaline Orb to activate. But you know, with that speed boost, that's going to allow Blastoise to outspeed a lot of things. So you could potentially, if you're worried about getting your, obviously dropping your health for Water Spout base power, you could have a partner that has like Follow Me or something like that, or another Pokemon that could heal with like Life Dew or anything along those lines to help Blastoise out. First turn, you've got options like going for Fake Out just to get some chip damage, and maybe your partner setting something up or swapping. You've got Ice Beam and you've got Shell Smash as well. If you don't want to run Water Spout, you could go something like Surf. You could do that as well, so that would still be fine. Or you could have like a partner with water absorb too, so that could be another little strategy you could go for there. But you could definitely straight up do water spout with. You could do scarf as well. I'm not saying you can't do scarf on there, but you could have something different. Maybe drop out. If you could get that one turn with Shell Smash, it would be very, very difficult to actually take this out. So maybe you could drop Fake Out and put Protect on there. And then you could have something like, I'm just trying to think of something. You could have, how about let's go Follow Me. I'm just thinking about something. So you could have something like, this is just like a full-on like example here. You could have something like a Clefable with Follow Me. Or anything, right? That has Follow Me, and you could get that to take the attacks, and then Blastoise to go. You could go Blastoise to go Shell Smash, and then you could spam Water Spout for like, just ridiculous amounts of damage, and it's not going to get outsped or anything like that. And you could still use all your other moves like Ice Beam and stuff as well. So that's another option you could go for there on your Blastoise. Another one here was sort of focusing on some other like spreading moves, I guess, like Muddy Water and Icy Wind. That's an option too. If you don't want to go for, like a Shell Smash, because it can be difficult. You can get like double targeted, so you have to have some strategies in play there with another Pokemon or Follow Me or Rage Powder, something like that. Could work. Another good one would be like, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, like Among Us. That could be quite handy with Rage Powder too. So if there's any electric moves aimed at Blastoise or grass moves, this would be quite a good partner too for doubles. Yeah, this one's more of like, this is like a full-on tanky set. So we've got Fake Out, which is obviously great. We've got Flip Turn, Icy Wind, and Muddy Water. So we've got it more as an offensive set with some extra special bulk. So this is going to take a good amount of damage, and we've got Rain Dish on there as well. Of course, we've got some partners here like Pelipper. That is going to be obviously setting up the Drizzle there. That's going to be quite a good partner there. Some other ones you could use on there to get... I'm just trying to think of some obviously some counters there for this Blastoise. It'd be quite difficult to counter the Water Spout set when it's there, but there are like other Storm Drain users you might want to try and get rid of. Any other big special attackers, like even like Blood Moon wouldn't be too bad. Like that'd be a pretty good partner. So like that would nuke a lot of the, like this would get rid of a lot of the electric types, right? And then you'd have Blastoise that would get rid of a lot of the like its counters, like the grass encounters with like Ice Beam and other stuff like that. So they could work quite well together as special attackers. And you've also got some other ones, just like I always say Flutter Mane, but it just works well on every single team basically in doubles because it's super good. And yeah, you've got a lot of good partners like that. Let's check out some ground types and stuff like that too. I'm just thinking of some other ground types. Obviously we had Ursaluna. I would probably say Ursaluna is pretty good. I would say Blood Moon's probably the best ground type partner you could have. How about Rillaboom? Rillaboom's not too bad either. You got Rillaboom as a good partner. Just being it's grass type, that could cover the at least the grass type, and you might even like. I'm not saying specifically if you had it, but you could have like Terra Grass on Blastoise too if you wanted to. If you had Terra Blast on one of these, let's say you had Terra Blast as one of the moves on here, right? You could have Terra Blast Grass and it gets that Grassy Surge boost. That would be quite interesting as well. And yeah, there's a bunch of Pokemon that could definitely work with Blastoise. If you got any other suggestions, put it in there below. But yeah, I feel like you could definitely get a Shell Smash off there, but whether you're going to get a Water Spout or not is another thing. So you'll have to use something like, to get the opponent's moves to be aimed at your other Pokemon or Rage Powder or something like that. Or you can just simply straight up go for a Surf. So that could work too. So you could have Surf and then another Pokemon with Protect. So you could get the Shell Smash and then go Surf. So that is an option as well. Also, another, like a counter would be Gastrodon. Like Gastrodon with Storm Drain would be a really, really problematic for Blastoise, with the Storm Drain ability. So that's where Terra Grass could come in handy, or having something like Rillaboom on your team, for example, would, get rid of that problem. So, yep, just a couple of things to think about there. Now, another set that Blastoise can run is a Body Press set. It does get Body Press and Iron Defense, and it's actually got quite a sizable defensive stat of 100. So I've made this this is probably more of like an all-round, this is like more of a single set, I would say, but you could try it in doubles, maybe dropping the rest and sleep talk, but let me explain this one first. We got max health and max special defense careful nature, so we're boosting up that special defense, and we've got Moringa Berry too, so giving another special defensive boost when it gets hit by a special attack. So basically making it very tanky on the special side. Now, while that's going on, you can set up the iron defenses, and that's going to be very, very tanky, like on both sides. And then you can use body press, and that's going to be using your defensive stat. And you know, if you've got 3 of those up, it's going to be very, very powerful. Even with no investment in defense, it's going to be like super, super painful. And we've got rest and sleep talk to heal off any status, and you know, allow you to set up iron defenses and terror fighting to increase the power of that. All you got to do if you want to run this, just make sure you've got something for like ghost types, especially ghost types, because you won't be able to land any moves, and maybe something to get around fairy type Pokemon and poison types as well. So yeah, that's another way you could run this. I ran this as Rain Dish, so you could possibly run this with a Rain Team too. The extra healing might help you, and you won't have to use rest maybe as often. So that's another way you can use Blastoise, because it gets body press. Now we've got a PIMPNITE special here. We're gonna be looking at Shell Smash, but we've got a bit of a fun set here that does have the potential to sweep. So we've got Shell Smash, and we've got Aqua Jet, which is a nice priority move. And we've also got Torrent as well. So we're going to be getting that Shell Smash up. Then obviously if we get attacked after that, or if we don't get attacked, we can go for another Shell Smash, right? So we can go for as many Shell Smashes as possible. So we're going to have like sky high stats. Now, this Blastoise is going to have the Torrent ability, so we're going to get a boost of 1.5 on our water attack. So that's going to make Aqua Jet hit really hard, because Aqua Jet isn't very, it's not a very powerful attack, but it does go first. So we're going to be using this when we feel like the opponent's got a priority move and they're going to feint us when we're on like 1 health or low health. And we've got Flail for the rest of the time. So we've got Flail's going to be doing like heaps and heaps of damage there at 1 health. So it's going to be basically a 1 HP sweeping set, but we've got a priority move. Now, the last move I put on there was Yawn. Yawn's going to create a swap to get us a Shell Smash up. Or if it's like a problematic Pokemon, it could, they could lead with a Pokemon that you could easily set the Shell Smash up. Then you can go for Yawn, and maybe you might be able to get 2 Shell Smashes there. So that's another option. If you want to put another move, you possibly can. You might could put something in, like, I'm trying to think what Flail and Aqua, like what would counter that possibly. Maybe a rock and... maybe rock and grass or something like that. You might put like, I don't know, Ice Spinner on there or something along those lines. That could work if you want to put another attacking move. And yeah, we've got Terra Water, so Aqua Jet is going to be hitting very, very hard. So it could definitely sweep, but it's going to be sweeping on 1 health. Now let's have a look at Blastoise's all its moves and stuff. I like to go about everything. Maybe one day we'll be able to use the Mega Blasters again in the traditional series games. So let's have a look at the status moves. We've got Haze. It might be handy on some sort of like bulky defensive support set. Iron Defense, we had a bit of a look at that. Protect is of course, always good in doubles. You got Roar as well. You might be able to put Roar and Iron Defense and Body Press and Rest on some set. That could, like a defensive set, that could work too. Shell Smash, well, you're going to see Shell Smash pretty much all the time with, White Herb on Blastoise. There might be other instances where the opponent has got Focus Ash, but most of the time it'll just be a Shell Smash Blastoise, because it is a very nice mid to late game sweeper, and you can just clean up fairly easily. The only thing about Blastoise is it doesn't have any priority moves on the special side, whereas most people like running on the special side. So, maybe that could be something if you're running the physical one that gives it a little bit of a niche there. It's got Sleep Talk. We've got Sub. You could go Sub and Shell Smash, but it's mostly a waste because you can normally always get Shell Smash. We've got Helping Hand there. If you want to make like a tanky set, you could do that. But it doesn't have too much else after that. You've got Yawn that might be able to create a swap, but as I said, most of the time you're going to be able to get that Shell Smash off. So let's have a look at its special moves, of course. Its special is actually kind of limited, to be fair. So we've got 2 fighting moves. We've got Aura Sphere and Focus Blast. They don't really give it too much, honestly. It hits against Steel types and Dark types, but you can already hit them neutrally with the Water move anyway, so there's not much point. It does have Dark Pulse. Once again, a pretty average, useless move on it. Doesn't really doesn't give it much coverage at all. Mainly, you want a Water type move and an Ice type move and a coverage Terra Blast. That's, seems to be Blastoise's bread and butter there. We've got Chilling Water. You definitely can run that on like a more of a bulky set with recovery, so that would work well. Dragon Pulse. Once again, this is like these Pulse moves were better for Mega Blastoise, you know, with Mega Launcher. That's pretty. I feel like that's why they did it, because they had so many of these moves, right? Flash Cannon, that doesn't really do too much either. We got Hydro Pump. It's always the thing about Hydro Pump, like Hydro Pump or Surf, you know. I just like Surf because it's not going to miss. And that's, you know, it's still 90 base power. It's still going to hit very, very hard. If you want a singular target in doubles, you could go Hydro Pump over Surf too, if you're worried about that. Of course, we talked about Water Spout. We could run that. You could definitely run that one in singles and doubles. It does get Weather Ball, so that's interesting, but most of the time you're not going to be using it. Unless you really, really wanted to have rain all the time, you could use Weather Ball over Surf for an extra 10 base power when it doubles, but you don't want that rain ending, because then it's not going to have its move. Another cool move I get is Mirror Coat. So you could have like a Focus Sash Mirror Coat set with you know, Torrents. That could work as well. That could be fun. It does get Scummy Water as well for doubles. We've had a bit of a look at that. And yeah, if you want to try out one of those pledge moves, you could do that too. But mostly, there's not too much there. It does get Whirlpool if you want to make like a fun little trapping set, but it's lost a lot of those you know, cool status moves that it used to have. Yeah, that's pretty much it for its special side. Let's have a look at its physical side. Yeah, it's like I said, it still can run a decent physical set. I ran like a choice. I'll show you the choice band set that I ran. I'm not saying it's the greatest in the world, but it actually wasn't all that bad. So I had Flip Turn, I had Earthquake, I had Ice Spinner. No, sorry, I didn't have that. I had Wave Crash. I ran this choice band set recently. It was quite good, actually. It took the opponent off, definitely off guard. I had like a, I ran this one as Adamant type. Yeah, I ran this one as Adamant, so it would do like a little bit more damage. So I had max attack and max speed, put a little bit in, last little bit in defense. So I had that gave me some pretty good coverage there, actually. And then I think I put Ice Spinner on there. So that wasn't bad either. So you could possibly run it at that. If you on the flip side, you could run it as a like a choice spec set as well. But like I said, most people are probably going to run the Shell Smash set because it's immediate boost and it only takes one turn. And you know, after one turn, it's very threatening. A Pokemon that's actually a really good counter to Blast. If you're getting wrecked by Shell Smash Blastoise, a Pokemon that's actually a really, really good counter, believe it or not, is Arachnid. Like, this Pokemon being Bugger Water resists pretty much everything that Blastoise has got, and it's got like a ginormous special defensive stat. So if you're worried about special, you know, the special attacking, spell smashing Blastoise, this encounters it like really, really well. So you could give it for a very specific counter. That's all. Very, very specific counter. But I found that's just, you know, one of the best counters there. Anyway, people, to sum it up, Blastoise is a terrific Shell Smash sweeper, and it can do can be a decent Water Spout Pokemon as well, and works well on a lot of different rain teams. If you got anything else to add to this, if you got any other sets, please leave them below. If there's any Pokemon sets or move sets you want me to cover, put them below. I do have a playlist of all the ones I've done, so check that out. That's going to be in the pinned comments, or you can go to my channel. And that's about it. Hope you enjoyed it and found it informative. Peace out.